I did some work off camera fixing the ability to send the hand motion as well. So let's take a look at the Git diff here, or the Git log. Of course, we added the capsule so that we have something to grab. That's not really related. Yeah, put the capsule out there. We modified the component change payload into its own type. So we have types XR component, and we have the hand Posrot, which is the hand and the position rotation for each hand, just creating types that we will send to the server side. Then we modified the forward camera movement method inside of Spacebroker to not only send the camera movement, but to send hand movement if it's available. And first what we did is we broke down each signal. So left movement would be filtering for hand left out of the controller moved. Right movement filters for right, and it originally was throttling, but I think maybe we'll just throttle once later. And camera movement came from camera moved. And the issue that was happening before is that I just had the object here and it didn't have parentheses, so it was returning undefined because the function wasn't returning anything. So here I just opted to use the parentheses in the return statement. So that was the bug from before. Finally, we take all three signals and then we merge left and right along with camera movement, and then we smoosh them all into a single object. So with the accumulator being this cam left right object with all of them undefined, whatever signal that it gets, because we are creating left, right, and cam, it will get sandwiched in there. And then we will only forward the message if there's something for camera. And then we'll throttle every 100 milliseconds. So that stops the floodgate from making too many web requests. Finally, if we have left and right, at this point we already have the camera. If we have left and right, we'll emit left and right and Posrot and member ID. And if we don't have left and right, then we only emit camera. And we tested that, and that works in the console. And let's see what else. This is the new XR component type. We added type for the type of like squeezed or trigger. Of course, you can get that from the ID too, but the ID is usually more specific. Like this can be button, and this might be button A, for example. And we extended the member moved with the left and right. And we imported something that I don't think we're using, which is a throttle by movement pipeline function, but it's not hurting anybody being here. So, and we started on a grip manager, which is currently not being employed, but this is where we'll put our logic to detect if you gripped onto something. But I think we have enough in order to get the signal out. So here in the event stream, you'll see something like member moved with the right and left embedded in there now. In order to see anything, we're going to need to draw their left and right. So we're going to need a function to, okay, so here's where we are. We need to send hand positions along with the camera movement. Okay, we did that. Oh yes, we still need to cache that into the ETS table. For any late joiners, we need to know where the camera position is, but we also need to know where the left and right position are. And perhaps that's not totally true, because if you have that, you can just draw the avatar, and then with the streaming, if you get hands, so we can maybe low priority this for a second. Don't strictly need this, I think. Yeah, for latecomers, you can just get the body, and then if people are moving their hands around, you'll get it. So can put this lower down. Let's see, need to draw hand meshes for other members and add a box, and we need to draw a box for ourselves for our own hands, which right now we will see the controllers, but we do want to see a box for ourselves. Okay, so looking at some previous code, a good place to put where you're creating the box is after the mesh is ready. Where was it? Debug something. There we go. On model loaded. Okay, it was happening in the throwable system, I think. Here we go. So it's set up the input sources. So on controller added observable, on motion controller init observable, on model loaded observable, it created this stuff. So this will create a box for yourself. So I'll copy this, and we need to look at the on controller init observable WebXR. XR manager. So init controller here. So here we probably need to on motion controller init. Dang, I think it's put it somewhere here. So the motion controller given to us here, sorry for all the scrolling, is on observable abstract motion controller. Now you gave that motion controller to us here, so we'll do motion controller on model loaded observable add. So the model is ready, right? But you didn't care what the value is, simply pass a function. Put all of this in here. So you want to create a grab mesh. Babylon.mesh builder, create a box, motion controller handedness, grab mesh, and the scene, yeah, show bounding box, visibility, if motion controller handedness, zero is left. Okay, so you're saying if left hand, then oh, you're saving the meshes. This grab mesh. So I don't feel like this should be an XR manager. Yeah, again, I feel like this should probably be inside some other manager to retain some of the state. So I want to hand this into throwable. Where is, or actually we created a grip manager, because you might not throw it. And this thing will instantiate. And we'll put it out here. So we are going to need your motion controller, which is a type of Babylon. What is it now? One of these, I believe. So then, let's say that have public hand, which is a string, and then this hand is motion controller handedness. Then we are going to listen to the model loaded. I think we are going to need maybe the orchestrator. So XR Manager has the orchestrator, do we? We have the scene. I guess we can start with the scene. So XR Manager and where is the XR Manager initialized? Inside Scene Manager. When the client is ready, create it. Yes, and then we await the action, and then we do that. know what, just give us the orchestrator because it has everything. So when we're doing setup, we'll initialize XR grip manager, new XR grip manager, passing all along the orchestrator and this motion controller. I do kind of feel like these should be separated out. In fact, the components themselves could be separated out as well. Because you want to know the combination of that, so you're going to end up, yeah. Let's do that now. Let's do that now. Camera moved is fine, but I want to know if it's left controller or right controller that's moved. Let's just call it left hand movement. Right hand moved. This is not just movement events, but this is kind of just kind of all member, I don't know what to call it. Just call it movement events for now. But I want to get rid of this thing. XR component changed into like a left trigger. And then this can be a types XR component and left squeeze. Left button, left joystick, and then the right of these. You like this better. So then that means when we are tracking this in XR Manager, we have something, okay, comment this out for now, something that's listening for hand movement. Okay, so this is the part that does hand movement. So for each one, we are going to send the event on signal hub movement emit. Now which one are we? We have a handedness. Can't determine the hand from here. Set hand polygraph. That's not true. We have it here. Input source, input source. Okay. So const hand is input source, hand, and this. So we want so with the hand, and then we don't need the hand. We don't need the hand in this payload. So if we go to the signal hub, we can just send positron here. Doesn't seem like we need that. Going back to XR Manager, yes, that will cover the two hand movements. Left hand moved, right hand moved. We don't have to filter for it now. Then over here in the payload, this is fine. We're gonna send it along different signal because let's say the handedness const hand is motion controller handedness. Don't need this in the hand. Almost don't need the type either, because we're going to know the type. going to be the hand, then the type, and that's it. Argument of left trigger, left squeeze up on type of key of local events. Type left trigger, key of local events. Oh, this is not local. This is movement. Now left trigger is thumbstick. None trigger. Okay. And signal hub. Thumbstick. The touchpad. We're not going to have a touchpad, but let's just put it in here. Left touchpad. Right touchpad. And then this thing, don't need the type. Don't need the hand. Okay. Let's send it up that way. What are the bugs? Yeah, a bunch on Grip Manager and a bunch over here. Okay, Space Broker. Let's start with Space Broker. So left hand movement just became left and moved. We don't have to check this at all. And we simply put a left back on it. Which is value and I guess you could just put value in here, right? Maybe it's just a pause run. Then do the same over here for moved to the right. Oh wait, that ain't right. Because this assumes the key is that. But it's going to say value and then pause run. But we actually just want to return the value. So we just wrapped it inside there. That is still good. Then all this should be the same. And removed. Alright, what's the deal on XR Grip Manager? Okay, so this will either be for motion controller, it's loaded. We have a hand, and if we're only storing it for one hand, so we don't really need to check sides. We can just say grab mesh yeah, we want to keep a reference for it, so let's just call it grab mesh. And public grab mesh is a Babylon abstract mesh. And let this be this grab mesh, this, and this, and then this grab mesh position is new vector 3. Oh, there is a difference. I guess one's on the inside and one's on the outside. So I'll do this. And then the parent, grab mesh parent equals the import source group. Where's import source? We need that. Can we get it from motion controller? Nope. So we need some input source here. So XR manager needs to send import source when we are initializing something something. I commented it out. Where is it? Here. Input source here, which is a type of import source. So if this hand 0 equals L, then use this. Otherwise, use this. Okay, so this looks like it'll create the grab meshes for you. This scene, we need access to this scene. Scene is, or this, or orchestrator, scene manager, scene. The problem here. Babylon scene. So I sign with the Babylon's dot scene. Import, do this. Okay, so that creates us a box. Let's see if it works out. XR manager is told to start that group manager. Probably need a way of tearing this down too. Here's your box. You're getting member moved with left, right, and the camera, which hasn't moved.